Thank you. Yes, I am. And
Yes.
thank you also for getting us through for the minutes we've been here. I also want to really appreciate everyone who has taken their time to join in the conversation. I would also really request you to keep on sharing the link, keep on sharing the posters, so that you also do not get to learn alone, but your friends can also get to learn. Maybe we can begin with an introduction whereby in the next 2 minutes or 3 minutes, we can have some of us just unmute, say hi, and maybe tell us how your day was or how you've been since we had the last conversation. Who would love to go first? We can use the mic or we can use the chat box as well. Yes, Akbe?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. My name is Jairus Egbe. I'm a foreign student from Cameroon, Central Africa. This is my first participation here, and I think it's worth it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julius. He is also one of our panelists. And he just said, I remember we haven't yet gotten to know him more, which we will get to in a few minutes. Maybe we can also get to hear from Peter. I can say hi.
Okay, I hope you guys you had a good day. I'm Peter Musili from Kenya Methodist University. And yeah, have a lovely session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter. He's also part of the panelists who have just said hi. He's still yet to tell us what he does at KeMU. And maybe we can hear from the audience. You can just unmute, say hi, and tell us how you've been since we had the last conversation. There's Alphonse Okello, who is ready. Rebecca as well. We can also keep the
Okay, good evening.
good evening to you.
My name is Rebecca Kivuli Onono. I'm a student at Kenya Methodist University, and this is my first time. And I hope to see more involvement in such like sessions. Thank you.
You're most welcome, Rebecca. We also look forward to having you join in most or maybe all of our conversations, which go on weekly. And I believe that you also get to learn a thing or two from these conversations. The last person, you would love to say hi.
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
My name is also Rebecca,
Mhm.
Rebecca Jerindongo. I'm a new student in KeMU,
Mhm.
and I am happy to be here. I actually saw that the advertisement today. I didn't know there was such a thing, and I am happy that I saw it. My expectation is to know the role of peer mentors. I don't know whether peer mentors is the same as peer counselors. So I am glad to be here, and I know I will learn a lot. Thank you.
You're most welcome, Rebecca. I'm also very happy looking at the representation we are getting from KeMU, and we also look forward to having you join in other conversations.
Good evening,
Good
everyone.
evening.
My name is Felix Okello, a student from Kenya Methodist University, Nairobi campus. I've seen my friend Rebecca somewhere there. That's good to see you. This is my first time I'm joining you. I'm here to learn and also to share ideas so that we can have a very positive feedback concerning the topic. Thank you very much and feel most welcome.
Thank you, Okello, for joining in. We also appreciate your time. We will get to hear from Vincent as the last individual. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Vincent Aswani, the chairperson of Kenya Methodist University Nairobi campus. So I also would like to know, as my other fella mentioned earlier, that the roles of the peer counselors inside the school and outside, what they do. Because yeah, we have the peer counseling team in Kenya Methodist, but I would like their roles to be dignified into more extreme understanding to us all. Okay.
Thank you so much, Vincent, also for joining. You can be assured that after the session, we'll have gotten to understand the role of peer mentors. And also, Rebecca, who mentioned that she is wondering if peer mentors and peer counselors are almost the same. From our great panel, you get to really understand and distinguish these two variables. And fast forward, I'd love to welcome our panelists so that they can now get to introduce themselves, so we can know who is Peter beyond coming from KeMU, who is Jairus, and also who is Raphael. So I invite them to unmute and say hi to us, also how they have been, and such we can get to know them better even as we begin our session. Raphael, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Karibu.
So, good people. First, I'd like to thank you. This is a very nice turnout today evening. This evening. My name is Rafael Astenga, a student in Kenya Methodist University. I am becoming a nutritionist, and I was a former peer counselor leader in KeMU, that is 2020, 2021, 2022. Yeah. Beyond that, today I'll be facilitating this. I will be one of the panelists. And I hope just to have a meaningful engagement with you guys and talk and share more about our role as peer counselors, peer mentors. Yeah, thank you, Kenya.
Thank you so much, Raphael, for joining in. I also look forward to learning a thing or two from you. And I would also love to welcome Jairus so that he can unmute. And
Yes. Good evening, everybody. This should be a lovely one. I'm a student, counseling psychology, KeMU. I'm a peer counselor too. I've had a lot of experience working, especially with victims of a civil war in my country. So counseling, especially peer counseling, has had a great impact back in my country, Cameroon. I think I'll bring that experience to the discussion today, and I guess we're going to benefit from it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody.
we also appreciate you for joining. And I also welcome Peter once more so that he can unmute.
Okay, thank you, Madam Moderator. First, I take this chance to appreciate for this day. Again, I take this opportunity to introduce myself. I'm Peter Musili, a student in Kenya Methodist University, the Department of Public Health. Again, I'm a KeMU Counseling Club team. Again, I believe and hope that after or at the end of this session, everybody will get something. At least he can know the rules, and maybe you can have more peer counselors. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Peter. So, the voice behind the mic, my name is Kinya Nina Gitonga. I am a psychologist from the University of Nairobi, but I am also a peer mentor who has learned much more about peer mentorship and peer counseling from YMCA Central. I know we also have new people who might be wondering what is YMCA. You'll get to learn much more even before we end the session, what YMCA is and what we get to do, and also how do we enhance peer mentorship as an organization or as an institution. So before we begin, maybe we can get to hear from the panelists. Now that we are learning about peer mentors, what are these peer mentors, or what does peer mentors mean? And also from our poster, we can see that we're looking at the role of peer mentors in the mental health field. So from the audience, I would also request us to keep the conversation lively. And in the chat box, I would request us to share what is this mental health that we are talking about, because we might understand what is peer mentors, but we may not understand what is mental health. So I request us to engage hapo kwa chat box, tuambie mental health ni nini, what you think mental health is, as we also learn from the panelists what peer mentors are. And I'd love to direct this question to Peter.
Yes, okay, thank you for this opportunity. Peer mentor is someone with more experience in a particular field who either guides and advises those less experienced persons. Those less experienced people. Whereas counselor is just a focused personal. And counselor is just a focused professional or a trained counselor who provide guidance or support to individuals dealing with personal issues like stress, emotion, and all those. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter. We appreciate hearing that from you. And he has clearly defined what a peer mentor is and also the difference between that and a counselor. I would also get to invite Raphael and Straight as one of them to also get to share on the same. Thank you. Yes, Julius?
Yeah, peer mentoring is something really very fantastic.
Okay, I'll go
Yeah,
first then. So
yeah.
when you look at the word
Actually,
peer mentor, as the uh,
is everything okay?
yes, you can
Yeah,
continue speaking. Go next.
okay. Yeah, so I was on. Peer mentoring is actually a fantastic way to grow together at work. You know, it's all about teaming up with someone who is in a similar stage of their career or share your experiences. You know, this is a kind of support system that can make a big difference. Yeah, it always make a big difference because it feels like getting advice from a friend who really gets or rather knows where you are coming from. You know, that's what makes mentoring exciting. Now, let's think about it. If you are chatting with a buddy, can often be a lot more comforting than talking to a boss. You know, sometimes the vertical relationship between boss and subordinate might not go so well, but when you chat with a buddy, chat with a friend, a colleague on the same level, it gets more fantastic. And when it comes to learning from someone's experiences, it's more relatable, you know, and actionable. This is a magic of peer mentoring. Yeah, this is a magic of peer mentoring. It's about connecting on a personal level to boost each other up. That's what I really can talk about that. As for counseling, my first speaker did a good job there. I just wanted to say something about peer mentoring and the fantastic aspect of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Okay.
sharing that. Yes, Raphael?
Just to add some information on top of that, just from the word peer, um, we get that a peer is a person of equal standing with another person. You're either way sharing a rank or a status or the same needs or goals. Then peers are mainly found around the same age. You see, for instance, right now we have the thing of Gen Zs going on. You know, Gen Zs are of the same age. Moving from the year 2000 to probably 2005 or 2007, these people are regarded as Gen Z, Generation Z. These are the people of the same age. And also, we also look at the social factor and also an economic factor. And also, right now, because we're in campus, we're looking at it from an academic status, which has brought us together. So, a peer counselor is a person who has been trained in the matters of peer counseling and is able to facilitate a session of peer counseling, whereby in this session we'll have a unique relationship between these two people of the same rank, and they offer an active listening ear during this session, and they can also facilitate sessions. So yes, that's my definition of peer counselor and peer counseling. Thank you.
Thank you so
Kenya,
much
the
for
mic is
sharing that, Raphael. I really appreciate the fact that you're really trying to bring out the essence of a peer. Because when you're looking at peer to peer, basically it's someone you're on the same level, and this is someone that you can relate with. And also from Reras, we've understood that it is very, very effective when we're looking at assistance or guidance from a peer to peer. I don't know if you've experienced this from your campus or high school level, whereby you think or you imagine of sharing an issue you're facing with your teacher and you prefer to just tell your friend who will just hear you out, or maybe even at a family level where you're expecting to share with your parents, but you find it more easier to communicate with a cousin or maybe someone, a relative whom you can relate to, or you feel that you share some experiences together. A lot of young people will tell you that I think they can understand me, and that is what we are learning today about peer to peer. And I am requesting that in the chat box we can continue conversing and sharing what is this mental health. Now that you've understood what peer mentors are and the slight difference that you've gotten on the difference between peer mentors and peer counselors, where Rafael has also mentioned that they can also conduct sessions. Maybe from Peter, we can get to hear from you in KeMU. What are the responsibilities that peer mentors have in the institution?
Okay, the the responsibility of a peer counselor first is just to provide peer support to the students, because like this is a unique for you do a unique form of support by empathizing with the students' experience, like flexible one-to-one support sessions where they maybe you can actively listen to student concern so that you can be able to cope and often share just similar academics to create more comfortability or tolerability space for students to open up. Again, maybe they promote awareness and education. So on campus, like in KeMU, now they will be involved in organizing events, workshops, and discussions that maybe they may help to reduce stigma and others. Again, they can talk about um, they are just trained to they provide information uh, and and community resources that may be available for mental health, so that to help students navigate the maybe like in KEM we can talk about they can navigate university counseling services and other external mental organizations like YMCA and others. Again, as well, we can talk about they normally advocate for the mental health needs of students within the university. They can also be involved in participating in committee or in any groups that entail or talk more on mental health. and others.
Thank you so much, Peter, for sharing that. He has really highlighted and clarified what is the role and responsibilities of peer mentors, particularly in an institution, where he has also shared that at times they conduct events, at times they seek out for partnership, and the great role is where they try to create awareness on mental health related issues. And that is very, very crucial, especially in a generation where we're looking at a lot of things are happening. And these are things that get to affect individuals when it comes to their mental well being in general. And so, offering guidance and offering emotional support, and also being able to have a person who can listen actively to you and also refer you to resources where you can get assistance is very key. So from traders, maybe we can get to here. Now that you've been in the profession for some time, you've also been learning, and you mentioned that you've had experiences also from your country. What really sets apart peer mentors and other mental health practitioners, or in general, other health practitioners? What set them apart so that we can know this is just probably a psychiatrist, this is a peer mentor. What's the difference?
Well, yeah, thank you very much. This is really getting interesting. Before going in, I want to still reiterate on the mental well-being because mental health is about mental well-being. And if we are talking mental well-being, like you said, we are helping individuals, to cope with stressful life. That's not all. We lead them to understand their potentials. And these potentials and abilities are resources. And then, especially students and the Gen Zs, for example, we have to help them to learn well and to work well. Now, it goes beyond that. We have to also work with them so they contribute to their community. Like what we're doing now, we are actually helping us get better, and that contributes to the community. That is where I'm coming from. I'm coming from the line where the peer mentorship is actually directed towards creating a stable community. In our country, Cameroon, education has been halted because of a civil war. And now it becomes challenging because the Gen Zs, especially, they're out of school. So peer mentorship left the institutions. We are now even working with communities and groups by training mentors of mentors, so we could be able to work collectively for universal output. Now, this is why I'm here in KeMU. As a peer counselor in KeMU, in as much as we help young students, get the homeostasis of mental health by creating balances, we also create that awareness that it doesn't end in the mortar and brick of a classroom, but it's going to start from here to create a wider society. That's why on Wednesday, my program is coming up, spending behavior restructuring. It's part of helping young people adjust to the world of finance and how they can look into their personalities, gain insight and see how they can make themselves better Kenyans. Yeah. So in a nutshell, the counseling and the mentorship, as much as it grows from individual, it gets to a smaller community and into a wider community. That's the angle I'm coming from. Thank you.
Thank you so much for really expounding that, and I hope that the audience is learning one or two things. And he has also mentioned that peer mentorship goes beyond our school setup, where we are also looking at the essence of peer mentorship also in our community. And I really have a question for you guys, because when you're looking at peer pressure measured tunaonaga, it's a setup of school. So now that one has completed schooling, does it mean that they can never really fall into peer pressure? Or does peer pressure also date all the way to 30s, 40s, and 50s life experiences? Maybe we can get to share our experiences so that you also get to understand where peer mentorship applies or where it doesn't. And to Raphael, I would really love to hear from you. What is the impact of peer mentorship and how effective is it as compared to other ways of creating awareness on mental health issues? Even
Well,
as
I can answer this question basing my fact on a study done in Kenyatta University after they trained their peer mentors. So they found out that, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Any response?
yes, I can.
Okay. So I can say that the peer mentoring programs are very effective, and I can base my evidence on the statistical data provided by the Kenyatta University after they trained their peer mentors and had peer mentor program in their school. They found us that about 65% of the students were the 55% of the students who underwent the peer mentoring programs were able to reach out to other students and to help them and support them and to actively listen to them and also facilitate matters concerning their mentors. And this actually helped curb a lot of a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and especially they targeted freshmen, the freshmen wenye wanaingia shule saizi. Because sometimes if you look at the freshmen first years when wanaingia, they're so much overwhelmed by school, by the peers, and they're carried away sometimes with also the burdens that they are carrying also from home. So this was a study also done in KU. Then there was another one also done in Egerton University, the branch in Nakuru, the main in Nakuru, that also showed that this program is really, really impactful. You see, and also looking at a report by, let me look at a report by, there's a report that was done by one of the major organizations here in Africa. Yeah, a study conducted by Africa Mental Health Foundation in 2018 found that 42% of university students in Kenya experience symptoms of depressions, while 36% are reported are only anxiety. Then also, WHO, WHO, that is World Health Organization, also reported that suicide is one of the second leading cause of death in our peers in the age 15 to 29 years old in Kenya. And in this age bracket, we find that most of the university students are found there and are or die by suicide. And after this data, that's when universities in Kenya started encompassing, started promoting and campaigning for peer counseling programs. And yeah, they're really impactful. Yes, those that I can speak out because they try at least reduce stigma, and also they are very resourceful. That is true. Also is another way of doing what of breaking out the cultural barriers that we may have and students may have concerning mental health issues. Your perspective.
Thank you so much, Rafael, for sharing that. And I love the fact that you've actually backed it up with research and statistics. This means that ukisikia KeMU, they are recruiting peer mentors, they're not just doing it for the hang of it, they are doing it because it's a resourceful thing and it's very effective. And the fact that we've also seen that it has really assisted, especially with minimizing stigma around mental health. Because you can imagine if your friend anaelewa hii mental health ni nini and they feel it's important for them, and that is why they are creating awareness about it, then it means that it's okay to experience mental health issues, but then it's also okay for me to seek out for assistance. And if so and so might have experienced it and they got better, that means that I also have a likelihood of getting better. And also with peer mentorship, we have really seen that it's very, very important because it will make an individual feel less isolated na pia atafeel ako understood vizuri. Because whoever who is talking to them or whoever who is assisting them, this is someone that they can relate to. As Raphael gave the example of Gen Zs, it's easier for them to talk to someone at the same level because they will feel that they understand them and they can relate with the experiences that they are having. And then again, I know we've sent Rick in the house. I would love to direct this question to him so that he can share with us on what makes someone to qualify to be a peer mentor. Like, how do you do it in KeMU? Is it everyone? Is there any sort of a training? How do we go about it? Because it's also a role on its own. And now, what do I need to qualify to be a peer mentor? As we wait for Cedric, we also have Zephania from YMCA, and YMCA also gets to train peer mentors once in a while. So I will welcome Zeph to also respond to us and enlighten us. What do I need to qualify to be a peer mentor? Are there any qualifications? Is there any sort of training? If it's a training, then how is it done? Because there are a lot of people who love to enroll and to be one, but they do not know how to go about it.
Thank you, Nina. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Thank you very much for that question. What do you need to become a peer mentor?
Cedric, if
One
he's
thing,
not there.
to become a peer mentor is the willingness. There is no particular course that you need to take to become a peer mentor. To have that heart of helping other people navigate through some issues, ama to be a mentor to someone, ama to hold someone's hand. So that is one. You need to have that heart and willingness, and that willingness to help someone. For the training, yes, there are regular trainings to keep you as a peer mentor updated and well conversant with these issues, some of the issues that you'll go to the ground to tackle with other people, because you will find different people with different issues and you want to mentor them or you want to tackle this issue. So it's important to have those trainings as capacity building. So yes, there are capacity building trainings. They are regular and they are done by other mentors who mentor peer mentors. I think I've answered that question, Kenya. Is it okay?
Yes, you have answered well and clear. Thank you so much for clarifying that. I am seeing that Cedric can raise his hand. I'll also welcome him to share.
Yeah, thank you. Uh, I support what Zephania has said. First of all, for you to become a mentor or a peer counselor, it takes willingness, because you can be trained, but you don't have that urge to support your fellow. And it takes the act of empathy. If you have that attribute, then you are fit for training. Then also, after your willingness, there's that commitment as a counselor. You should be committed, because sometimes you are called to listen when maybe maybe you're having a bad day, or maybe your schedule doesn't allow. You just have to create time for that client, or just have time to observe that person and create time for them to listen to them without judgment or any other thing. And also trainings are open. Maybe in KeMU we used to train peer counselors annually, and I don't know about YMCA. Maybe Zephaniah say that, but you're welcomed. Any KeMU student here who is not a peer counselor yet, next year, I'll share the dates. Then join and get trained. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shadrick, for sharing that. I would love to go back to Peter and yes, Zephaniah.
Uh, just to clarify that question by Cedric on whether we do on our trainings for peer mentors. Yes, we have a peer mentors club, and trainings are also done. So I will also be sharing the training dates for peer mentors and peer counselors.
Thank you. I hope you guys will be tuned in to want to find out when is it being offered at KeMU, when is it being offered at YMCA. Not only know the dates, but also actively participate. And to Peter, maybe you can get to share with us, now that you have been a peer mentor for some time. At times, as a peer mentor, also we have our own issues, and it could really overwhelm us. So, what is expected of a peer mentor? What do they do so that they also get to prioritize their well-being? Isiwe kwamba wanasaidia wale wengine na pia nao wamekazwa kiasi. What do they do to maintain their mental well-being? And the definition of mental health was shared in the chat by Raphael and Paul, where they mentioned that generally mental health is a state of well-being that enables people to cope with the stresses of life and realize their abilities to learn well, work well, and contribute to their community. So now, how do we assist peer mentors who are there for other people to also maintain their mental health? Despite you as a peer mentor assisting others, how do you also take care of your mental health?
Okay. Thank you for this opportunity. On my side, I can say that there is need for like specialized training. Those programs training maybe that will be intended for peers. I think that will help us to identify and make us a bit strong so that maybe we can't fall on a trap that can make us maybe not to handle or to help our fellow peers. So like uh, um, here in KeMU, we normally have some trainings, and if those trainings, if those training, maybe some of them are in webinar apps and other activities. So once you go down and listen to them more, you get to understand that, so that you will be empathetic and don't you be not judgmental, such that you can at least a bit be someone who can handle another someone's case, so that you can't, if someone you can even be a counselor and here to, maybe you are facing a challenge. That's why we go for more trainings, more specialized trainings, so that we ensure a bit we get more knowledge each and every day, to ensure that we are capable to hunt others in cases. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter, for sharing that. As a peer mentor, I hope that you've learned that we are not a one-man show. Once in a while, also, we need assistance, so we need training. Because remember, there's what we call the savior syndrome, where at times we really want to save and solve everything, but it might be causing burnout. And we can also get to hear from Raphael.
Yes, I was to touch that. I was to touch the point burnout bit that you have mentioned, that as peer counselor, sometimes you might or you can be overwhelmed by the cases sometimes you're handling. So it's good for you to go for therapy session. And KeMU also offers free counseling and in 11th floor, whereby you can go for your sessions as a peer counselor. That is one way of taking care of yourself. Another effective way of taking care of yourself is having the attitude or the mentality that you are not a savior. You cannot fix each other's problem. And also knowing the thick line that is defined there between a peer counselor and a counselor. The thick line is that you as a counselor or your role as a counselor is just to be an active listener and to support your peers in terms of emotional support, in terms of resource guidance, whereby you feel like this case, that this session that you are handling with this student is heavy, you are able to guide this peer, your fellow peer, to a counselor professional to save everyone. You are not there to fix people's problem. You're there to be an active listener and facilitate different sessions in the peer mentor program. And also one last bit is that have an attitude of growth. That you as a peer counselor, you should have an attitude of growth. You should look forward into more and more workshops, learn more, interact with other students from other universities. For instance, I can give myself as an example. I started peer counseling in high school. I was trained in high school. Then after high school, I came to campus. I was trained in campus. Now, during this my period time in campus, I was also trained in YMCA. I remember last year we had a training, and also this year we had a training. So having that urge of continual growth and purposing to grow is something that can help you as a peer mentor to take care of yourself. Thank you, Kenya.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And one of the carrying point that I've gotten from Raphael is learning never ends. So even as a peer mentor, there's more that you can learn. And then also in counseling, it will equip you with skills so that in case at times do not only need to emotionally support someone, but maybe you need to do more so that you can know what is expected of you. Because there's supporting, there's offering first aid, psychological first aid, and actually counseling. So as we wind up, I would love you guys to prepare your questions to the panel. And I would love to direct this question to Jairus, where I'll ask him, what do you see as a future of peer mentorship or peer mentoring in mental health support? Maybe in the next 5 or 10 years, where will this docket in mental health?
Can you please pardon the question and try be audible enough? Kenya, I can't get you clear.
All right, sorry for that. The question was, in the next 5 to 10 years, what's the future of peer mentorship, especially on mental health department? Because we know a lot is happening, and we've seen several institutions and even individuals embrace the same. So, in the next 5 to 10 years, what is the future of peer mentorship? Yes, Jairus, you're welcome.
I
Yes,
see Gebe has raised his hand first.
yes, thank you. I'm on, please. Yes, thank you very much for the question. I'm sorry I got lost a bit because of network and connections, but I'm back now. Yeah, peer mentorship is about social support. That is one aspect we need to look at. It's about social support. Individuals come together to make sure they create an ability to work together. Now, looking at the future, there are some basic elements of peer mentorship we need to consider, especially during training. We handle issues like confidentiality. Confidentiality in our ability to make sure the clients and their records are held in strict secrecy. We handle issues like, you know, aspects of transference, counter-transference, boundary crossing, ethical dilemmas. So the element of ethics becomes so important within the training of a peer mentor. Now, how does this factor into the future? It creates respect in the profession of mental health. A lot of individuals knowing that peer mentors are people trained to hold a private life. Peer mentors are individuals trained to be non-judgmental. Peer mentors are individuals trained to observe the concept of empathy. Now, we, by interconnecting with each other, we are able to take mental health to another level as a profession that is respected, as a profession that is recognized, and as a profession that most individuals want to come after to seek for solace. So the future of mental health with peer counseling is a bright one, and it's one that is colorful. And peers will always make sure to attract a whole lot of people to come seek for mental health because they are sure, they are reassured, and they are confident in the profession. I think that's the bit. And honestly, the future is bright. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that response. And we've heard from him that he's so positive that the future of peer mentorship. The future of peer mentorship is bright and things will get to be better. Honestly, if we compare it now na kitambo, you've seen several improvements even in Kenya as a country. And we look forward to actually having more and more better improvements. And before we even hear from Peter, I had asked the audience a question. We are looking at institutions championing for peer mentorship and organizations, but you as an individual, do you have a role in enhancing effectiveness of peer mentorship? What is your role? Even as we gear towards wrapping up the session, I could request one or two of us to prepare, and then after Peter, you can unmute and share. What is your role as an individual in enhancing peer mentorship? Yes, Peter?
Okay, in addition to what my panelist who was ahead of me has said, maybe in the future there will be the integration of technologies like you see there will be so many online platforms that will come and expand the accessibility of peer counseling to a wider area so that every time, like the way we are being digitalized, everything will be digital so that everyone will be able to access mental health from his comfort zone. Again, there will be specialized training, like actually, maybe like for example in KeMU, that maybe will help us to identify some of the emerging mental health issues, and again, those maybe may lead to promotion or they will, actually will lead to promotion of self-care practices. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter, for clarifying that. It's very, very important to not only leave out technology because we're looking at a generation that is very, very fast embracing technology and making the world seem like a small village, whereby we're looking forward to a future whereby mental health services will be very accessible, even at the comfort of your home, so that you do not keep on postponing going for mental health checkups, going for counseling, seeing a peer mentor, but you can get access to these services even through your device. We will also get to hear from Raphael. Hi, Raphael, your hand is raised. You can
Yes, yes,
unmute.
yes. Yes, my hand was up. Yes, I've unmuted. I hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up.
Loud and clear.
Okay, so I'll go. You have asked the question concerning the future of mental health. No, sorry, concerning the future of peer mentor. Well, I can say with the ongoing advocacies and the trainings that YMCAs is trying to do with the awareness, the future is so bright. See, with the peer mentor program, we can create a sense of communities among the university students, among different organizations, NGOs. At the community level, we can create a sense of community just for peer mentors, just for people to come and talk about. And I guess this future is so bright because it will increase the awareness and try reduce the stigmatization around the topic of mental health because it's one of the challenges that is actually affecting each and every person in living in this current world. Mm, maybe look forward into a future where we as Africans, mm, I don't know if you guys look up the the what Americans do and how far technology has really changed their psychotherapy sessions with people, whereby they have you can buy the EEG machine at your home and you can scan yourself. You can have sessions with your therapist online. So look forward into such a future, what Peter had mentioned using technology, and also look forward into more social interactions, more advocacy of peer mentoring programs into universities and different spaces in Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you. And you can also hear that Rafael is also leaning towards technology as well, and also looking towards a future where Africans also get to embrace mental health conversations. I know that you have a dream that you want to achieve in future. My question to the audience is maybe we can hear from two individuals, one to mental health and mental wellness. What is our individual roles? Because I believe each and every one has a contribution to attaining this future. So what is your contribution at a personal level?
Thank you. I think at a personal level, my contribution as Cedric is to ensure that each and every day I try as much as I can to maybe research more on materials, because you know we are working on the future, and when we're working on the future of these peer counseling stuff and mental health, we need to like prepare adequately. So more research, that's up to us. We do more research on the maybe personality theories, how to understand that fellow person, and also as a personal, we should develop the skill of maybe empathy so that we are able to understand our fellow maybe students, because we are dealing with peer to peer, our fellow students, workmates, and get to help them, lend that helping hand, being approachable, and at least a smile doesn't hurt. So up to me, that's what I think is what is required of me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shadrick, for sharing that. And thank you, Rebecca, also for adding the aspects of being an ambassador of peer mentorship in your safe spaces. To also add on what Cedric and shared is that peer mentorship is not only when you are in session. Peer mentorship is not only when you're in session or when you're attending to a friend who has reached out to you. You really need to integrate these skills in a day-to-day life. But also, Jerry has mentioned that being a peer mentor, you're also entitled to have your personal life. But even in our safe spaces, let us embrace the same so that you do not only be empathetic when we are having clients, but also be empathetic when our friends talk to us. Because at times, individuals will look at how you act, look at how you behave, and they're like, if that is what it is to be a peer mentor, then I don't want to be one. But there's someone who will look at how you handle your friends and they fully embrace whatever you're doing. So there's a question by Uthiambo, which I'd love to give it to Jairus. You can answer the question and give us your parting shot. And the question is, what is the first step in monitoring? And to Raphael, you can guide us on who initiate mentorship. And to also answer, do peer mentors or counselors have supervision program? Yes, we mentioned that being a peer mentor isn't the very end. Once in a while, you also need to get assisted, and also some trainings which will get to equip you with necessary skills. And then also after Raphael, Peter can also share his last words. Thank you, and you're welcome, Jairus. On what is the first
Yeah,
step?
yeah. Thank you very much. Especially that question is really, really pertinent. The first step in mentoring. The first step in mentoring is to create rapport. You know, rapport is the ability to create the most fertile ground to be able to run a relationship. Rapport is all about relationship. And around that rapport, there are terms of contract. How are we going to work together? It's important. What's going to be respected? What is your side of the deal? What is my side of the deal? What are we both bringing into this relationship? So creating that rapport is excessively important. And a good rapport can only be created if we have what is called self-awareness, just as Cedric was pointing out. Self-awareness is having insight into me, having insight into my unfinished businesses, dealing with them appropriately, and then grabbing the necessary knowledge. Every profession has a piece of knowledge that goes with it. So you get the necessary knowledge, you do work on yourself, having insight, self-awareness, and all of that, establish a good rapport, each party keeping inside of a deal, and you are good to go. And now that takes me back to my parting shot. This is not done only within a therapeutic session or within a peer mentorship session, but we are models. According to Alfred Bandura, we should create the best models. Like we just said, people watching us with envy, peer mentoring. And those that actually want to be mentored would love to be. And those that actually have mental health challenges will know that there is hope for them in all aspects. And especially with technology, we can take it even further than Kenya and further than Africa. Thank you so much.
Uh, for instance, I'll give an example back in KeMU. The people who initiate mentorship is the counseling psychology club, the counseling psychology department in KeMU, whereby the lecturers sit down, prepare a program for the peer mentors, and they implement it. And they send it to the principal. The principal approves it, sets a budget for it, and everything, and then it's implemented. It's posted in the school, and it runs for about it's a month or a week. It's posted a bit earlier so that people may know that the program is coming or is soon to start at such at the beginning of the next semester. Then the program rolls when the semester begins. That is one effective way I've seen that is working in our school. Then we have the question, what is the first step in monitoring? So for instance, in our school, the lecturers who developed the program, we were, after coming together as peer mentors, being trained, we were broken into groups and given accountable psychologists and accountable lecturers to whom we are going to give our accounts to. So that's where our monitoring was first done. And also this answers the question of, do peer mentors, counselors have a supervision program? Yes, we did have a supervision program in our school. We were supervised. In our time, we were supervised by our lecturers, and I also worked for an organization called Shamiri, whereby we usually had weekly supervision with the counseling and professional psychologists as peer mentors. Yeah, it must be there. All those questions that you're asking are really relevant and so good. Thank you for the humble. Well, I hope you answered.
Thank you for sharing that, Raphael and Jairus. I would also love to mention that he has given an institution setup where we say it is provider who initiates the mentorship. But at times also a client can initiate the mentorship, whereby they come to you and they tell you, I'm experiencing this and I need assistance. So Paul, it's two-way. As a provider, you can initiate, and also at times client can. And I'll forward this to Peter. Your parting shot. Thank you.
Okay, I can add, most have been said. On my opinion, in addition to what my fellow panelists have said, here on the case of mentorship and supervision, they just actually on mentorship, it's though they are all working in the counseling and psychologist department, but just a bit mentorship, they receive supervisions from maybe experienced staff or professionals, and gain counselors. They work closely with those psychologists so that they can a bit get to know or to handle the sorry I get like I get lost without knowing. So this was what I was saying, like mentorship receives supervision from experienced staff, and they work closely with the psychologist department. Yeah, thank you. That's what I can add.
Thank you so much, Peter, for sharing that. And as you mentioned, in that the essence of this supervision is that you also do not get burnout as you're assisting others. And we cautioned on the savior syndrome, where we really try to save everyone, and at times we cannot. And I'd love also to add a key takeaway is that if the case is difficult or overwhelming to you as a peer mentor, feel welcomed to always share and refer maybe to your supervisor. And I would want to appreciate the panelists for taking their time to join us and share insights. We've learned a lot. I personally have learned, and I also hope that my audience has learned a thing or two. And your expectations that you came with as we were starting the conversation have been met. So I would love to give the baton back to Tito so that he can give a brief on what YMCA is, especially for the new ones who might not really know what YMCA is.
Yes, thank you so much, Nina, and the rest of the team, and the moderators, and the panelists. You have been a great sharing knowledge about the peer mentors and also differences between us like counselors. And I think as the YMCA, we empower young people, and part of it is empowering the peer mentors club. And I really want to thank you, Nina, and your team from the Y Mentor Club for facilitating this kind of programs each and every Monday. So just to let you know that YMCA is a youth organization whereby we focus more on empowering young people, and part of it is capacity building, which is also awareness, and we usually do online engagement, physical engagement, and also we do training on peer mentors with the help of psychologists, professional psychologists who come and train us and also shed us way on how we can do peer mentorship, as we have mentioned from our panelists. So thank you so much, the team from KeMU, for such a good audience today. And we hope that we also share the same one to other members who have not joined today. And we shall be sharing this recording maybe on our channels, especially on YouTube. So we shall be expecting this in the next, maybe before 24 hours, and then I'll be sharing the link also. So thank you so much. I really want to welcome you on our sessions that are going on every Monday from now, different campuses, because this is an intercampus dialogues, and we shall be having different campuses sharing their experience in terms of mental health, GBV, and different issues that are affecting us in campuses. So I just want to wish to thank all our panelists, Jairus from Cameroon, Raphael and Philip from KeMU, and also the team from KeMU, the likes of Cedric Sami, for giving us the audience. And I really want to say thank you so much. I really want to wish you a very good night. I know we have run out of time, and see you next week. Good night.
Good night. Thank you. Good night. Thank you. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.